The global pandemic has had an effect on all of our lives, all aspects of our lives since it first hit Toronto, and the city's real estate market is no exception. Our next guest, however, is here to tell us why things may not be as dire as they seem. Please welcome Remax Hallmark Realty Broker, William Wallace. William, thank you very much for joining us this morning.
You're welcome. Nice to be here.
You want to be optimistic about the market. It's scary, I would say scary, turbulent times, but you have some optimism, or at least want to temper what we're facing right now.
Yes, when they're putting out statistics, they're often comparing year over year. And in this current situation, it would be much more appropriate to compare month over month. Statistically, we're down 70%. Because statistically, we're down 70% year over year. But if you actually look at the statistics between April and May, we have 50% more volume. Each week, when we study the numbers, we're seeing that 6, 7, 8% more listings are coming out, more buyers are becoming active. People suddenly think when they look at average values, they've lost $100,000 because they're looking at averages. What's happening is the higher end is not trading. And specifically, if you look at condominiums over $1.5 million, in February, there were 35 sales downtown. In March, there were 18. In May, there were only 4. So when you take the lower sales volume and you add it to lower high-end numbers skewing that average, the averages are actually not accurate for the true prices that are trading today.
What about Airbnb? A lot of condos bought, people are using them for Airbnb rentals. Are they coming on the market? Is that having an effect as well? Do we have to worry about a glut from people selling?
There certainly is more volume coming out in that little time when Airbnb got deregulated in Toronto. What's happened is people are converting to annual tenants rather than weekly tenants. The other item is they're restricting access to the buildings. So agents that could normally show a condo conveniently anytime, a lot of the buildings are restricting access. And if the units are occupied, they're actually trying to show them virtually through virtual open houses, 3D tours, alternate methods when people cannot actually access the unit. We've even had sales where there was a condition in the offer upon viewing the unit the next day because you don't want to have crossover in the lobbies and the hallways and with the owners of the condominium suite.
It is a very difficult time if you're looking to sell or you're looking to buy. Are a lot of people holding off and waiting to see what will happen with the market? Are we going to get a second wave? Do we want to get caught owning property right now? Are people stepping back?
There's definitely a wait and see attitude out there. The second half of March, we had people that were already in process. So it was surprising to see, even though the pivoting date was March 15th, March actually outperformed 2019 in 2020. Kind of a surprising statistic. But then people tucked in their wings on a wait and see attitude. But there's still transactions happening. And even in the housing market, we're seeing multiple offers because there is still demand for buyers.
And will there be pressure? I mean, this is traditionally the time of year that people are buying and selling because they're moving come the end of June. Is that pressure going to be there again, or can people step back?
No, I think it's individual situations. There's a certain amount of the population, as always, that are going to need to move. There's also a little bit of de-urbanization going on now. I've gotten several calls from clients that have talked about now that they're accustomed to working virtually. What about moving to Collingwood? What about moving to Georgetown? And they would trade their condominium value for what would buy a house in those areas. And that's having an impact on the market as well.
So some interesting decisions being made. William, thank you very much for joining us this morning. We appreciate it.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thanks for having me in.
And for more, go to williamwallace.ca. We'll have more on Breakfast Television coming up after the break.